Celeb Savant is a career retrospective type interview focusing on singers, actors, and industry experts. Join Barrett Edelstein now as he dives into the entertainment world.
DJ Zan-D is a South African music producer, radio presenter, and club DJ. He started mixing at the age of 12 under his brother's supervision, and by the time he finished school, he was already featuring on YFM on DJ Fresh's show at the time. DJ Zan-D decided to move to the dance capital of the world, London, where he lived for over 6 years. He worked his way up from hosting house parties to playing in UK's top clubs. Moving back to South Africa, he has also enjoyed success both on radio and television. He was headhunted by YFM to be part of their YTKO team of mixed DJs. And he was also part of Red Pepper's Club 808 team for ETV from 2011 to 2015. On radio currently, he's on the hashtag YTKO Tuesday, Knockout Tuesday. He's a 6 p.m. co-host of the live studio DJ Battle. Saturdays, a co-host of In the Ring show from 8 p.m. to midnight, a DJ mix show aimed at unearthing South Africa's hottest and new DJ talent. On television, he has been on Channel O, The Lockdown House Party, and Lockdown House Party All-Stars. He's been a featured DJ on Trace Urban and Trace Africas. He's had gospel hip-hop sets on Trace Gospel. He's been on ETV The Culture Video Mixers and MTV's Hottest MC 2020 panel. DJ Zan-D is also prominent in the South African music and event management space. He has been awarded the Hip Hop DJ of the Year 2012-2013 on the SA DJ Mag online poll. DJ of the Year 2019 nomination at the South African Hip Hop Awards. Up next on Celeb Savant, live in studio at Solid Gold Podcasts in Johannesburg, South Africa, is DJ Zan-D. With me in the interview seat is Zan-D.
That's right.
Bum, 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 bum. Zan-D, lovely to meet you, have you here with us. So let's start straight away. How did the stage name, DJ name, all those different things, Zan-D, how was that chosen?
It was not an easy one.
Okay.
Yeah. I've been trying for years to get a name. But eventually I sort of had given up, So
wait, so what were you calling? Were you calling your normal name?
My normal name, Zan-D, that. And with more of a Zulu accent, heavy on the vowels. And then the one night, me and a few friends of mine, one of my closest friends, Debza, who's now passed on, RIP, he had just gotten me one of my first cool event where I was going to play. And then he said to me, listen, bro, you can't just go by your normal name. It's time for us to try and figure something that's going to look good on the flyer, but it's just going to be effective also. So we sat on the car. I remember all of us each had a quart of beer. And then it was on a Friday night thinking about the name. We were just bouncing ideas. Then eventually Bob, one of the guys in the car, said, no, man, keep it simple. Just remove the I and have the dash and just say Zan-D. And then we're like, that is good enough. So since then, I think it was around 2006 when I started using the name Zan-D.
And how long were you not using it for? How long did it take to get to that point?
Good. I'm now also going to be revealing my age. Okay, I started DJing and getting paid in 1998.
Okay, so about 8 years.
Yeah, about 8 years of that. Because I don't count anything before that. I was too young and I wasn't getting paid for it. So my first official paying gig was in 1998. So since then, I was like a normal Zan-D, went overseas, and then came back, changed to Zan-D. Yes.
You referenced 1998, but let's rewind to earlier. At what age, whether as a child or teenager, did you think, okay, I want to be in this DJ world, in this creativity world? And how did that journey progress?
The funny thing, I did not like it. So my dad used to buy lots of records. And I would have been around 7 years old when he started putting me into this whole thing of the music, where he would ask me to make compilation tapes while he goes to work. So he'd select about maybe 20 records whether it's jazz records or disco or whatever it was at the time. And then he'd be like, okay, listen, I've written a list for you. So 5 songs on each side of a cassette tape. And you need to record this box of 10 cassettes. Remember, I'm like 6 or 7 years old. I'm looking outside. I can see my friends playing with kites or whatever. I can't go play because I have to sit in this house and record these boring songs into tapes.
Did he tell you which songs he wanted?
Yes, he had a list.
He had a list.
So he'd write a list and say, these 5 songs, side A onto the cassette. These other 5 songs, side B on the cassette. So
he obviously trusted you with his records.
Yes,
which is a major thing.
Ooh, that is a major thing.
Yes,
but I didn't know it then that was going to be a career I would probably choose for myself. But it just went up from then, from recording music into cassette tapes to helping him, because he also had a sound system company. So when they would have like the beauty pageants in the halls or have weddings or 21st birthday parties, they would book him. And then he'll take me and my brother, and I'd help with the speakers, with the cords, connecting, and but when it's like dark, 6 p.m., they'll take me home. But that introduced me to the whole DJing field. Mm-hmm. Until when I was a teenager, then I started actually enjoying getting the spotlight a little bit, because then my brother, DJ Chalk, would take me to his gigs. And he'll let me play like the first hour or the first 2 hours of a birthday party or a wedding. And then when you DJ, then you realize, oh snap, this is actually a cool thing and people like you for that. And then I liked a little bit of their attention. From then on, I was like, okay, maybe I want to do this thing. I would have been around 10 years when they would actually let me start playing a couple of songs.
Oh, wow. Okay, so as young as that.
As young as that. So, and then 10 years going up. And then when I was about 15, then I was like a serious DJ now. Because now I could mix properly and I could play confidently for a big crowd. But I only got my first paying one in 1998. Because I needed money for my matric dance. So yes, I went to go hustle and I got some money. I was able to afford to go buy clothes for my matric dance.
Okay, so now what were the next steps after school? Did you dive straight into DJing? Did you study?
Yes.
Let's unpack.
So from then on, I needed a break for like a year. Around early 2000s, the UK had this thing they used to call the working holiday visa.
Yes.
And I found out about that at school. And shout out to CBC Boxback, man. I love that school. Like, they plugged us into all these cool different things we could do for if you're not ready to go to school or go to uni or go wherever, So I was like, you know what? I'm going to take a gap year, go to the UK and just see life and just, get a new experience about life. But also, the UK at the time, London, was the dance capital of the world. And every records that we used to get from overseas, they used to say made in the UK. And I felt, oh snap, if I go to that place, I'll get all those exclusive records first before South Africa gets there.
Yeah.
Then I can come back here with all these new exclusive tracks and then I can be a better DJ, But my mom liked the idea because she could see that I'm actually moving closer to this DJing thing. And she wanted me to finish school first. Like every parent would, So she liked the idea because then it will move me away to what I was doing in South Africa, the DJing. But yes, like I said, she took me to the dance capital of the world where I saw it all.
And how long were you there for?
About 6.5 years.
Oh, so longer than a year.
Longer than a year.
And what were you doing there?
So I got there, did the working holiday thing. After the first year, I came back and I told the family, please, can I just go study there? I'll pay for my own school fees, for my own schooling. But I just found that there's better opportunities there. Like, it is a first world country. Life is fast, but there's better opportunities, They all agreed because, especially for mom, it would have taken a lot of her shoulders because now I'm paying for my own school fees.
Yeah.
So I did IT there. IT was a cool thing in the early 2000s. Everybody wanted to do IT. So I did your networkings, I didn't do programming or anything like that. Then I got work. So then I started working. Funny, I didn't work on anything IT. I worked on advertising. So yes, I worked for Clear Channel. They used to have Clear Channel in South Africa. Mm-hmm. The guys that used to put up the billboards and stuff. Yes, but we specialized in, remember the black taxis in London?
Yes.
We branded those taxis.
Okay.
Yeah, so I worked in the operations in that department.
Okay.
Yeah. I did that for most of my years that I was there. Oh, but before that though, I did do also the other, that funny work that everybody does when they get there and they do like farm work, factory work.
Yeah.
I worked in a furniture factory. I didn't do the chocolate factory. I wanted to do that. I never got that opportunity. I did a chicken factory, maybe my worst experience. I became a security guard, which I was fortunate enough. I was quickly promoted to do CCTV camera work, I did that with Saber Watch for a year and a half, but I was too young for that job. It had too much because it needed you to arrest people. You go to court because now you are the witness and you arrested this person and.
It's too heavy.
You attended town meetings and because you need to discuss security plans for like Christmas or Easter. You know? I was like 21, man. I was too young for that. So I left that. But then the DJing was always on the side. Going there, I had to start from being a bedroom DJ.
What's a bedroom DJ?
So basically, you just you playing for yourself, practicing.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay. Oh, it's a practice. Okay.
Yeah, and then
I thought when you said that, I thought, okay, well, maybe it's like COVID and you're doing it over Zoom or something.
yeah.
That's what I'm.
Yeah, we didn't even have camera phones then. They just started.
Yeah, exactly.
But so I went from being a bedroom DJ to hosting my own house parties. I remember the one house, it was in Neasden. It had 20 students in it. And all of us were like, big house. So, but we shared spaces. So in a bedroom, there'll be 2 guys. In the other bedroom, bigger one is 4 guys. Those type of things. But just like we were all there for the similar reasons, traveling and trying to see the world, all teenagers or, just finish school and all that stuff. So it was fun. So you had guys from New Zealand, Australia, Canada, Sweden, everyone in just one big roof. So for me to host a party, it's easy because I already have 20 people there in the house, And those house parties became so big that I started getting attention from like small not clubs, but bars. So I moved from that to actually making my name heard in the UK as a DJ, but starting from that bedroom there.
Yeah. But that's the thing is that we all have to start in whatever we're doing in the bedroom.
Oh, yes.
It's
life starts in the bedroom.
That's funny. Okay, so now you came back to South Africa.
Yes.
And what were the next steps?
Oh, okay. Now things were different now because now I came back to South Africa as DJ Zan-D from the UK. Mm. So now, even in the flyers, even in the posters, every club and every bar would book me in South Africa because now I'm this DJ Zan-D from the UK.
Ah, okay.
And they actually dragged that so much that eventually I had to stop the guys to say, guys, let's kill this UK thing now. I am South African. You can say Zan-D from Boksburg, Vosloorus, And but obviously as a club owner or a promoter, you want to use that to make it look cool for the event.
Because it's like, someone from overseas, like more important.
It helped, but eventually I was tired of it. Then I got 2 years back in South Africa. I got my first radio gig officially. There was a guy called Chili M who used to be a big radio star, radio personality. Shame he's also passed on, but he worked for YFM, he worked for Metro FM, he worked for 5FM, I think. But he was one of those guys that are naturally talented. When somebody doesn't even need to go to school for a certain job, but they know how to do it to like the best level you can get. He was one of those guys. He saw that I was back in the country. He was friends with my brother. And I remember him saying, listen, man, I heard you play some radio show that you said you recorded in England. Let me hear that show. And then I gave him a few of those cassettes. He took them home. He came back to me and said, bro, if you can play like these guys, I would like you to come to my radio show. I just got a radio show on YFM. While I do the radio, you'll have like a 20-minute mix slot every Saturday, for example.
Ah, okay.
Yeah, so that's how I got onto YFM. And from then on, eventually I got my own contract on YFM. And I've been there since 2007.
Wow, you still at YFM?
I'm still at YFM.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So do you do a show or?
Yeah, so it's gone from me just being a mix DJ to them putting me as a co-host of a hip-hop show. Then they stopped the hip-hop show and then they gave me my own show with Jasmo, where we've been hosting young DJs. So it's a 4-hour show that will start on Saturdays from like 8 p.m. till midnight. And then it would feature all these young DJs who want to get like a spot. And obviously nothing better than being booked or being called up to play at a station that's got like 1 million listeners and it's for the youth. Because that's the easy way to make your name heard or known. So yeah, man, that's been my highlight of my radio career.
And you're still doing that?
And now I've moved to the mixes. But you know how radio is like. It's like playing soccer or rugby. Every year you have to negotiate a new contract or move to another team or that type of thing. It's a harsh industry.
Yes, I've heard so.
Yeah, because
I've heard also that if the numbers aren't pulling in, they're like, okay, but
yes, and there's nothing you can do about it because you're not a permanent employee. You know, it's just all contracts, and sometimes you get like a 2-year contract. Some people even get 5-year contracts, but it's not easy to get those 5-year contracts.
I suppose for the bigger names.
Yes, exactly that. I've had a few phases in YFM. One of the phases was when they actually had to stop the mixes after the Chili M era, and then a couple of years later, they started doing DJ mixes again. And then they call me up and actually sign me up for a contract to actually pay me now to do those mixes. YFM is one of the only radio stations that actually pay DJs for mixes to come and play a mix. All the other stations is like, come through, you know, obviously it's marketing for you, you know, free advertising for you. Yeah, but YFM is one of the only ones that actually pay for DJs to come and mix.
When you say come and mix, so you mix at a certain time, or you give them the tracks to do, or you do it live?
You do it live. Yeah,
okay.
You come with the music and headphones, obviously, and then you come do it live for that 30 minutes, 20 minutes, or an hour, depending on the show.
Okay.
And then that's your hour there, or that's your slot. And then after that, they'll probably just ask you where you're going to be playing, and, you know. So it's like a simple thing like that.
Are you still doing that at the moment?
I'm still doing that, yes.
And when is your slot?
The Friday mornings, 7 a.m. on the Friday mornings. Then they also have another show called Club Y, which is a 7 to 8 p.m. and that's an hour. There we alternate on, like this week I'm on a Saturday, next week I'll probably be on a Wednesday, and it just changes like that.
Okay. And how long have you been doing these mixes for?
Ooh, the thing is with YFM, even with the radio shows where I actually hosted, I've always been doing the mixes. Always been my specialty.
Okay.
Yeah.
What do you love about doing mixes?
Ooh, it's a lot, but the best part is, you know, with radio, it's not like a club or a festival or big concert. There's less pressure, but you are playing for an audience you cannot see. So your mix or your set has to be the best set, also depending on the slot that you're playing. But because you are playing for people that are not probably dancing on the dance floor, maybe driving mostly, you actually get to introduce new music without any pressure. At a club or at a party, if you play a new song, you might clear the dance floor. But when somebody's driving, they might feel like, ooh, actually, this sounds like it could be a good song. But also you're risking of them changing a station. But when it's a mix, they'll probably just bear that few 1 minute of a new song. Maybe you'll play another big song after. You know? Yeah. So normally with mixes, people don't really change stations unless your mix is really boring. So the best part about it is being able to play new music, break new songs, play exclusive songs that have never been heard before, that will probably play or be released in like 2 months from now or that type of thing. I really love that. And to actually meet people or artists in the streets and they come to you and they say, listen, man, thank you so much for being so brave in playing our music before people know about our music.
Yes.
Yeah, those moments, they are very special to me.
Obviously, radio was one of the main mediums where music was playlisted, played, etc., etc.
Yes.
Now with the advent of TikTok, Spotify, all these other elements, it's sort of diluted radio in a certain sense, because it's not that, I can only find this on the radio or the music stores. Now I can do algorithms, etc., etc.
That's correct.
How else do you feel that digital, social media, all these aspects have affected, positive and negatively, the industry?
I like that you asked for positive and negative, because as much as we can say it's diluted most industries, actually, not just DJing, because even the acting, a new person can come through and be a TikTok star, then they go to the biggest movie. You know, we've seen that happen with people that have never even been on acting schools, but they end up on the biggest productions on DSTV or everywhere else. With the DJing scene is before, if you did not have a song on vinyl, it means you could not play that song at a club. You would have to wait for that vinyl to come to South Africa or import it yourself, and it was not cheap. One song would be like $100 or 120. So if you're going to be playing 20 songs at a club, then, you know, there's a lot of money. And also if you're going to be playing with other 6 DJs, it means they might play them songs that you have on your bag. So you need to have a bigger collection to bring so that in case he plays a song that you were going to play, you can move a different way, you know? What the digital space has done is it has made music accessible to the people. So now you can get a laptop now, collect music, and then be a DJ tomorrow, which is a good thing, but also a bad thing, because now it just means then just anybody can be a DJ. You don't really have to be talented, because also the technology is so advanced that you don't need to actually do much to mix. You just press a couple of buttons, match lights, match numbers, it's on.
It's skipping the bedroom.
Yes. And going straight to the club.
Exactly.
Or going straight to TikTok.
Yes.
But the positive side of it also is it's removed a lot of the gatekeeping. You can basically wake up tomorrow, find out you are now famous. And you didn't even know. Because of one song or one thing you did the previous night that you posted, and you went to bed and woke up at midday thinking, oh man, let me go practice again. And you open your phone, you've got 100,000 views or 1 million views. And then from then on, people will start calling you for gigs because you did this one cool trick or good mix. So it's removed a lot of the gatekeeping in the industry, which is a really good thing. But also the bad thing about that is sometimes the gatekeeping was helping in keeping the good quality of the industry, because then those guys made sure that, you know, the best music gets played, the best DJs get to gig, all that sort of stuff. So yeah, there's a pros and the cons, but I love it, man. It's the new technology, it's what we do. And it's just nice to also to be able to have an audience without having to ask SABC to have a TV show, you know?
But also the thing is that you reference the speed and the waking up and you having 1 million views. But these days, though, the virality before was a thing.
Yes.
And it was easier to maintain that virality because it was easier to stay in the spotlight.
Yes.
These days, it's like, okay, 1 million, okay, 10 seconds later, oh, don't really care. you know what I'm trying to say? So it's not only about, I agree, it's about taking away the gatekeepers and that, but it's about achieving those viral moments and viral music, but it's also about, I think, having that bedroom steps that we referenced earlier will allow an artist and a person to maintain that virality and know how to continue because they'll have the foundation and the platform.
And it's not a fluke.
Exactly. Yeah. The ones that I think just boom, they're the ones who will disappear very quickly because they don't know how to maintain and they don't know how to enhance and they don't know how to leverage.
That's so true, because I won't lie to you. Me as a guy that is now a 45-year-old hip-hop DJ who is still one of the most booked hip-hop DJ in South Africa, to maintain that thing, it is not an easy thing. Because it's usually hip-hop was always a young man's sport. Music and clubbing has always been a young man's sport. But the game obviously changed in a little way. You were expected to leave the scene when you get to a certain age. Or the scene will actually dump you when you get to a certain age. Now, the industry is so big that even the older people still go out, even though maybe they might have different events or different whatever. But to be able to stay as a hip-hop DJ and be at YFM, play for the youth, get booked in the festivals that cater for the youth, those bedroom steps that I was fortunate enough to actually go through. I've seen so many DJs come and go. I've seen so many artists come and go. Some people is because obviously they don't have the right passion and drive for it.
And tenacity.
And it's easy to just go in and out the other gate, you know? Yes, but if you really are about this thing, you will work hard for your game, you know?
And also those ones who get it through the virality.
Yes.
They don't know about that working hard. So then what happens is that, boom, now I expect everyone of these moments to go,
shiko,
boom.
yeah.
And then it doesn't. And then they don't have the, as you mentioned, drive, passion, and tenacity to put in the harder work to allow the things to build.
That's true. That's true. It's fortunate to have been in the industry when there was none of that. And then it started in front of you. Now you can even advance yourself using those tools, you know? Because now I'm also a graphic designer. Now I'm also a video editor, something I never thought I would be able to do. Like graphic designing for me was like something that was far-fetched. Thanks to Canva, by the way. You see when you actually spend time into the new things that you actually find that you are actually good at it because you're putting in the hours. Even the video editing. Yes, we all use CapCut or InShot or these quick AI things that, you know, that help us. But when you put in the hours, then you start seeing that actually I can do so much more with this CapCut thing. Actually, maybe if I pay for this CapCut thing, I've given them so much airspace now. You realize that, okay, paying a little $200 a month for this program can help me achieve so much more. And you see it with the content that you're producing. And now I find myself being an influencer because I get called by the brands to do certain campaigns and stuff. I just did a Kappa campaign. I did a KFC campaign earlier this year. I wouldn't have had those things if my Instagram feed was not a certain way. So now the game has gone from me just being a DJ or music producer or radio personality to being an influencer, something I used to speak down on. Because I also used to think, these influencers, they think, you know, the game is all just about them and all that stuff. Only to find out actually, if you work on it, you can get the easy money, if I may call it that. Sorry not to disrespect anybody. It just seems easy because all you do is post and then you get paid for it. But also people don't know that you don't just post, you create the content for the post, you know?
DJing at clubs, festivals and so forth. Obviously, being a DJ, you need to understand, read the energy of the room, of the audience.
Yes.
Is that something that's come naturally to you or you've had to develop it over time?
Sure. Yeah, I know I had to develop that over time because my biggest problem was I used to be so shy. I used to get onto the decks and never look at the crowd. So I'd always be looking at the decks because I was too shy to look up. Because you look up, people are looking at you, you know, I don't want to see those eyes, type of thing, you know? And then eventually I had to learn to be confident. And then within your confidence, then you start finding yourself. Because now you're confident enough to say, okay, I'm not going to play your normal favorite songs. I'll play the remixes tonight because I feel like you need to hear these remixes. You see, now the confidence changes you. But now when you're also confident, now you can look up and see, okay, people are not really feeling this song. Next time I won't play this song at this time. Also, then you start noticing, okay, the older crowd, they prefer the sound, or a crowd in Venda is different to a crowd in Joburg and a crowd in Cape Town. A hip-hop I would play in Venda will be different to a hip-hop I would play in Cape Town. Or a hip-hop set I would play in Cape Town will be different to what I'll play in Namibia. Then you start learning those things over time, but it goes with experience. It's never an easy thing to do. You will clear a few dance floors before you get to the big hands in the air stadium stuff, you know? When you get those moments, and when you can get to that place where you know your crowds, that's when you know you've got them.
Music production?
Yes.
How much of your life at the moment is music production, and is it for other artists or producing songs for your set?
I love music production, but I just can never find enough time for production. That's my only problem. But the most beautiful thing is to go to a festival or club or wherever and play your own song and have people sing along to that song. It's such an electrifying feeling because now I can't even explain it. People singing your lyrics that you probably wrote or helped write, you know? So what I normally do is I work like how DJ Khaled would do it. I would call producers. I would identify a few producers. I'll sit with them in studio, would create something that I would have thought about or planned or would bounce ideas. Create the beat, and then I would think of who can I feature on that song. Then I'll be like, okay, maybe I can feature a Casper Nyovest, I can feature a Questa or Reason. Then I call them. If they like the vibe, they like the song, then they come to studio, then we record. Now these days, there's a new thing where they don't have to come to studio. You just send them the beat. They record in their studio, send you the lyrics, and then you carry on. Then I take that song, mix, master, whatever, then I play it in the clubs and then try and make it famous. Sometimes they go in and get played on radio. They go on high rotation. I've been on top 40s and I've been number one in a few radio stations. Thank you to all the radio stations that have been playing my music. And sometimes you release a whole project and nobody listens. And you get like 200 listens and you're like, oh snap. And you feel like you actually thought you were going to get thousands or maybe even like, hundreds of thousands listens. But the game can be really tricky.
But again, that body of work doesn't mean that it was poor.
True.
It just maybe means it was not at the right time.
I was about to say sometimes the timing.
Wrong energy.
Yeah. And things are different now. And what a lot of the industry execs have been saying, never think that your song is old or your album is old. Always push even the old songs, because we've seen how songs from back in the day are now coming back as big songs. We've seen the TikTok challenges and everything that comes or that brings back some of the old disco classics, or, whether it's a Brenda Fassie song or whether it's a Madonna song, which is now back and it's like a smash hit again.
And yet the current landscape is about creating music from authenticity.
Yes.
And allowing those platforms to leverage it.
Yeah.
A mistake a lot of people is making is allowing their creativity to be dictated by that.
That's true.
And those are the people that will also come and go, because it's not about authentically diving into creativity.
Yes.
It's about, okay, what can I get onto this platform to make it go viral?
Yeah.
And is it catchy enough for 15 seconds of attention span?
On the other side of that, though, then you get people who are really good in creating those viral songs. But they would have maybe in a project that one song that they're hoping is going to be one of those viral songs or a hit song. And then the other stuff is like the quality stuff that he really enjoys. But he would make sure, or she would make sure that she's created that one song that's going to maybe get all the gigs for December, for the festive, or, I've seen a few artists that actually able to do that. Okay, maybe it's an unfair example to give. I was going to say maybe like a Beyonce or like a Taylor Swift. But that's also an unfair example to give, because those people have such big teams that anything they release is going to be on the front page of anything.
I hear what you're saying, but also the thing is that with that, whomever that artist is, who's creating it, even though they are doing it in that way, there's still authentic strategy behind it.
True.
It's not only about that. Where some other artists, it's only
about that.
It's only about the filters.
Yeah.
It's not about the authentic.
Yeah. And music is a feeling, man.
Exactly. So tell us, what is coming up over the next period of time?
It's exciting part of the year. Normally, this is a time of the year where I don't sleep. Sleep during the week. Mondays are usually a bad day for me because I'd be exhausted from the weekend. So yeah, I'm working on a few songs because I'm actually working on big project for 2026. I'm going to be shooting a music video for a song I released earlier this year. It's called Once Upon a Time at Zan-D, which I did with Kid X, Resin, which is now called Sizwe Alakain. And then, yeah, man, it's just all the gigs and parties and events and festivals. Guys, book me.
I love this game. I know if I had to ask you this question tomorrow, the next day or the next day, I know your answer will be different every time.
Okay, interesting.
I understand that and I recognize that.
Okay.
I'm not saying favorite. I'm saying top of mind.
All right.
If you had to push play to 5 songs by other artists, who would you play? Which artists would you play, and what songs would you play of theirs?
Okay. Exactly. I like how you said the answer will probably be different in any different day.
No, it will be different.
Because obviously it also depends on what I'm feeling right now. Yeah. So it will probably be definitely Chase and Statham in there. I love my drum and bass. Yeah, Badadan was a big song of 2024. I have a favorite with my 8-year-old daughter right now. I know she's not supposed to be listening to music like this, especially with a title that says liquor and cigarettes. But I promise you, the song is clean enough. It doesn't swear, it doesn't have any bad language, but it does speak about parties, Yeah. But that's our favorite song right now. It took me a while to get into her, but now I'm starting to enjoy Duchi, her music.
Yeah.
She's a weird rapper, but she's also a cool rapper. She's like an artistic type of artist is not scared to explore different sounds. So I really like that about her. there's always going to be hip hop. A lot of the old school artists are releasing music again. I've been hearing a lot of like the Wu-Tang Clan guys. They're releasing solo projects. Snoop Dogg released an album with Dr. Dre. So it's going to be, the last 2 songs will probably have to be any of the OGs that used to release in the 90s, who have now released albums in 2025. There's so many. Ghostface Killer has. There's so many. LL Cool J even released.
Yeah, I saw Boogie with a Hoodie also.
Yeah. So
lots to explore.
Exactly. A whole lot to explore. But yeah, I do love my drum and bass right now. I used to play drum and bass as well when I was in England. So obviously drum and bass is like a British thing. Yeah, drum and bass and your broken beats, those kind of left field sounds which have now become commercialized. It was so cool to see drum and bass do so well in the last couple of years. Now you hear it on movies, on adverts, and and it's a cool culture, man, which I've always really enjoyed. There is no slow song in drum and bass. It's all about party. And life is about, that's what I like about life. Having the happy side of life, not just party, but I appreciate anything that makes people happy. And I've always tried in my life to actually do all the things that make me happy. Even if sometimes it means I ignore the important things, which we can be guilty of that at times, but it's very important that you make sure that you are happy with whatever you do in life,
The podcast is listened to throughout the world. As a final message, what would you like to say?
Listen, man, I know it's going to sound cliche, but the world has become a weird place with the internet exposing different types of the world in a bad light. We used to hear about the war in Gaza and Israel, but now we see videos, we see pictures, we see gruesome stuff. And the world needs to post less of those bad things that add so much fuel to what already is happening in this world. It could be such a better place if, I wouldn't say take away the internet from the kids, because the kids need the internet to learn. People need to see what's happening in the world. But can we just post less of the ugly stuff, less of the, like, Twitter has become such a bad space. People are even scared to tweet or to go on Twitter because they all just believe if you say anything there, someone else will just come and bash you. Someone else will just come and, say bad things or just, make fun of you. We don't need that. You've seen the new thing now that's been funny also. The bad comments on TikTok. Some of the comments are not necessary. The world could be a better place without those bad comments on TikTok, People are just posting their lives because they're just trying to have fun. I know they're also exposing themselves maybe, but let's just make it an easier place for people to just go in there, laugh a bit and just go sleep,
Thank you for listening to this episode of Celeb Savant. Please follow Barrett on TikTok, Instagram, YouTube, and Facebook at Celeb Savant. That's CelebSavant.